Hello, we're here once again with the week's news brought to you by Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. Let's start this week with the housing market and in particular 3 separate signs that the market is strengthening. First, there was a statement from the Bank of England that a general shortage of supply compared to demand was likely to lead to higher prices in the autumn. Then there came the news that there had been an increase in mortgage lending in August by the largest amount since 2008. And finally, the Nationwide Building Society this week revealed that annual house price growth has risen to 3.8% and that it expects this to build further during the autumn. However, not all market news was good. The Bank of England also had stern words about the buy-to-let sector, saying that landlords who may have been spooked about the volatility of house prices may choose to sell their investment properties in large numbers. This in turn could destabilise the market, warns the bank. A number of letting sector bodies, including ALA, have criticised this view. They say the biggest financial worry for landlords is the prospect of interest rate rises, rather than any need to sell their portfolios. Away from market news this week saw the introduction of a raft of new measures for letting agents, landlords and tenants in the rental market. From October the 1st, there have been new regulations governing smoke and carbon monoxide alarms and detailed new requirements for any agent or landlord issuing a Section 21 notice. Most of the letting industry is fully behind the improved health and safety requirements, and there is an understanding that rogue landlords engaged in revenge evictions should not be tolerated. But many industry bodies have been critical of the speed of the new legislation being introduced. In the case of the new eviction regulations, official guidelines had not even been issued to letting agents by October the 1st when the new rules came into effect. So it appears that the government itself is finding it hard to keep up with its own deadlines. And Letting Agent Today has carried a report that Trading Standards Services itself warning that up to 80% of carbon monoxide alarms fail to operate at the required standard. We've got the full details of the problem with the alarms and how letting agents and landlords may be able to spot the problem on the Letting Agent Today website. Now, there was more property portal news this week. eMove, the online estate agency, closely monitors which estate agents use which portals, and it claims 4 multi-office estate agencies have left OnTheMarket portal and returned to Zoopla. It also claims that some vendors are advertising their homes on online estate agencies as well as through high street estate agents in order to get exposure on all 3 major portals. Meanwhile, Estate Agent Today had an exclusive this week on what may be another new property portal launching in the new year. It's to be called Yellowfish Property and claims not to be a competitor of the likes of Rightmove and Zoopla, but a complementary portal. In addition to offering the usual property details and consumer information on local areas and facilities, it promises also to have reviews of estate and letting agents by the agent's own customers. Getting a new portal off the ground is easier said than done, but Yellowfish claims to be preparing a launch TV advertisement and says it has software developers working on its infrastructure. Still with property and the internet, this week saw a controversial publicity stunt by online estate agency Easy Property. The agency held a mock funeral pretending to mark the demise of what it called fat fees and dodgy estate agents. There's been a rumpus among some traditional estate agents and the stunt has triggered complaints and outrage. On the other hand, it's also generated publicity for the agency, at least among the industry, although it appears to have created relatively little publicity in the wider mainstream press and amongst the public. And finally, we stick with Easy Property, but this time add a little stardust in the unlikely shape of Simon Cowell. Easy Property's head of business development is called Holly Johnson, and she also happens to be one of the hopefuls in ITV's X Factor. The latest edition, Simon looked all set to boot out Holly from boot camp, where contestants are being put through their paces. But a last-minute appeal by Judge Rita Ora appears to have saved Holly's bacon. Simon did an about-face, changed his mind and apologised to Holly, who now moves on to the next round. So, Easy Property may have struck the wrong note with a fake funeral, but they're now singing from the same hymn sheet as the judges on X Factor. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and a reminder, you can see the very latest news from our industry every day on Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. We'll be back soon with another video wrap of the industry's latest developments, so see you next time.